So, you are looking for a new gaming mouse for Apex Legends to give you a competitive advantage. Or let's be honest, any FPS is applicable here. I'm going to give you the 5 best mice to help you improve your aim and get some more juicy dubs. But why trust me, right? That's a good question. Well, I have a wealth of knowledge. Oh, fuck, no. Oh, okay, I got this. But why trust me, right? Good question. I have experience. Right, okay, here I go again. But why trust me, right? And that's a good question. I have played at a high level for many years when it comes to first-person shooters. To give you an idea of what level, I can tell you some of the ranks of the games that I currently play at the moment. So, I'm a Grandmaster in both Paladins and Overwatch, top 100 in PUBG, and Diamond on Apex Legends. I like to think that this means that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to gaming peripherals for these types of games. I've also used all of these mice as my daily mice for a good couple of months each, so I've had hands-on experience with all of them. I'm going to start with the first 4 being in no particular order. Really, for these ones, they're all about the same in performance in my eyes. It's just down to your hand shape and also your budget. It's going to dictate which one of these that you're going to buy. And I'm going to save the very, very best for last. So make sure you watch until the end of the video. If you find the information in this video handy, don't forget to like, comment which mouse that you're going to go for, and then subscribe. It helps me understand what kind of videos you guys enjoy watching, and we can turn and put the channel into that direction. So we're going to start with a wired mouse, and we're going to go with the Logitech G Pro. Now this is actually one of the first esports mice that I bought. This one comes in at between 60 and 80 quid. It depends on your retailer and or your country. This mouse has quite a small form factor, so this is going to only really be comfortable for people with claw grip or small hands. It has the Hero 16K sensor, which Logitech are very well known for. It tracks extremely accurate. As a matter of fact, all of these mice track so well that it's really a non-factor when comparing them. However, the weight on this one is very low. It's 85 grams, which is fantastic. It feels, if you've never used a lightweight mouse, it feels insane. The shape is very comfortable. I do have a small hand, so for me, this was the right form factor. However, if you're a claw gripper as well, you'll find this mouse is just a very, very nice shape. Logitech have on here what they call their mechanical button tensioning system. I'm not too sure what that means, but the clicks, the left and right clicks are very satisfying on this and very durable. The scroll wheel is nothing to scream home about, and the thumb buttons, there is a back and forward, are kind of hard to get used to. They seem quite high and relatively difficult to push in, but if you're going for FPSs, you're probably not going to use those all that much, so the left and right click, very good. The cable, because this is one of the few that actually have a cable, is worth talking about here. It's this very light, very flexible rubber that you can almost not tell that it's there. So this is about as close to a wireless mouse as that you can get that's still wired, and that's half of the reason why it's under 100 euros. It does have some RGB functionality, but it's very basic, and honestly, it's not too much of a consideration for the mice that I'm looking at today. You can save some profiles on board for the RGB, for the sensor, so if you move it around, then that means that you don't have to set up your mouse every time, which is nice. But that's pretty much everything for this one. It's a very nice all-rounder. It's a smaller mouse, and it's one of the cheaper ones on the list, so if you're on a budget, this is probably going to be one of the ones that you're going to go for. Now, sticking with Logitech, we have the Logitech G Pro Wireless. Now, unlike its non-pro version, this mouse is actually a completely different shape. It suits a larger hand, and it's ambidextrous, so it's good for left-handers as well. That's obvious, right? That's what ambidextrous means, duh. It has the Lightspeed wireless connectivity, so like with all wireless mice these days, that's really not an issue. It has the same Hero 16K sensor and the same switches. Overall, it's one of the best mice for FPS, but it does for me have a very unique shape that's hard to get used to if you have a smaller hand, so I would be wary of that. The thumb clicks on this are better than the wired version, so it's got that going for it, and overall it's just massively popular. You'll find that a lot of the professionals actually use this particular mouse. Just if you have a small hand, be wary about purchasing this one. And as for price, this mouse comes in at around about £130. So the next mouse needs no introduction. We have the glorious gaming Model O and Model D. Now both of these mice have the same insides, they're just different shapes. They also have different sizes of each of these models. They both feature the Pixart 3360 sensor, which is fantastic. There is no complaints there. The design has this weird honeycomb thing on the top, which makes it, if you have sweaty hands, makes it a little bit more comfortable to use in my opinion, but that's there to reduce the weight. These mice come in at extremely low weights, with the Model O at 67 grams, making it one of the lightest there is. They glide really well. They have very well-known G-Skate mouse feet, which pretty much just fly across the majority of surfaces. And the shoelace cable, again, this is one of the things that really set this one apart. Now, most of them do it, but the cable is so light and flexible, it makes it very hard to even tell that that's a wired mouse, which, trust me, that's a big deal. These mice come in a range of prices, but expect to pay anywhere between 50 and 70 quid for these, again, depending on which one you go for and what retailer you're going for. Next mouse on the list is the Razer Death Adder Phi 2. Now this is an update of the already very well-known Death Adder. It has a slightly different shape, however the overall shape and aesthetic of it is basically the same. What they've added to this one here is Razer's optical mouse switches. These are supposed to actuate much faster than mechanical switches. Whether or not it's noticeable, I don't know. I can't notice it myself. However, that they say that these switches are also much more durable than the mechanical counterparts. The sensor, again, is a 20K optical sensor. You would never go that high, and again, as far as tracking goes, it's going to feel pretty much the same as the other mice. The feet on the Razer, I really like these. There's really no complaints there to be said with those. It comes with the Razer SpeedFlex cable. Like I said, the Model O really set the standard here, but now most esports mice will come with this very lightweight, very flexible cable, which makes it very hard to tell there even is one. Onboard memory profile, so if you take your mouse around, if you use it on other computers, you don't have to keep programming it again, the DPI, the RGB, stuff like that. That's always a really nice feature, but more of a standard these days, to be honest. And really, there's not much else to say on this one. I really like the Razer because it is a bigger mouse. So if it's, for me, I used to use this as an MMO mouse just because I could really lazily just slap my hand on top of it. But for FPS players with bigger hands, this is going to be one that you should definitely seriously consider. The thumb buttons on this are probably best in class. I can't think of a single mouse on this list that has a nicer thumb back and forth on here. So if they are something that you're going to utilize, this is probably one of the better mouses just because of how easy they are to use. As far as looks, it's a matte finish and it's a very nice texture actually, and you have the rubber on both the sides, which gives you really, really good grip, whether you're palming or whether you're clawing. The RGBs, again, there's a logo, the scroll wheel, you can address it, make it sync with other Razer products, but honestly, I mean, who cares? It's not gonna... Good RGB is not going to make you a better shot. Now, the Razer Phi 2 does also come in a Razer Phi 2 Pro variant, which is wireless, slightly heavier. However, I would always urge someone to consider wireless where the options are favorable. If you have the budget, then I would go for it because it's just so much better. There's none of those awkward moments where you accidentally snag a cable or the drag kind of throws your aim off a little bit. And the price difference, it can be kind of dramatic, but if you can, trust me, it is so worth it. The Razer Death Adder Phi 2 comes in at somewhere between 50 and 70 quid, depends if you get it on sale and your current, your local retailers. The Viper Pro, so the wireless variant, is around about 130, so it is almost double, if not double the price. But believe me, going wireless is 100% worth it. Okay, and I said I'd save the best till last, and guess what? I did. We have the Razer Viper Ultimate. Now, this is a wireless mouse to start off. Now, it does come in a wired version, which is much cheaper. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But this mouse is just fantastic across the board. So it features the same 20K sensor and the same optical switches as the last mouse, the Razer Death Adder that we spoke about. It weighs only 74 grams for a wireless mouse. That is insane considering it's got a battery in it and everything. This is only like, what? This is 7 grams more than the Model O, which is like the lightest mouse out there. It's an ambidextrous design, so left-handers, right-handers alike can make use of this mouse. What's really unique is that the thumb buttons are on both sides as well, so there's no missing out there. The shape of the mouse is just fantastic. It's comfortable in either hand. It's a small medium, a schmedium mouse. So it's again more for claw grip, more for smaller hands. If you do have a big hand though, I don't think it's so small that it'd be uncomfortable. I know players that have large hands that use this mouse just because of everything else about it that's so good. Like the Def Adder, it has that matte finish on the top, which doesn't get slidey and it feels premium. And it has the rubber on each side to give you really fantastic grip, especially if you're clawing it. The included charging dock is really nice. You can kind of just pop it on there and charge it. The battery pretty much lasts forever. I charge it maybe once every 4 to 5 days, and all I do is play video games at the moment. Now, like all the other wireless mice, I just want to say that I probably should have said this at the beginning, but if you're one of those people who's still concerned about going wireless, just don't. You know, you can watch plenty of videos. There's some with the Linus Tech Tip group. They look at the delay with wireless versus wired mice. And in some cases, wireless mice can be faster. So don't be a doofus. Just get a wireless mouse. Trust me, you're doing yourself a huge favor. Now, there are some variants of this mice. So like I said, there's the wired version, which is everything this one is, but it's wired with that SpeedFlex cable. If you want to save some money but get this mouse, then you can go for that one. The Viper Ultimate, the wireless version, costs somewhere between 110 and 130 quid. The price varies quite a lot. It's always on sale, or, you know, it's slightly more expensive from Razer Direct. The Viper wired is about 80, but that's really hard to find. I'll be honest, like, it's out of stock everywhere I've looked. And then you even have the Viper Mini. Now, this is a stripped down version. It's not quite as fancy, but it's the same shape. It's a little smaller and it's wired. It's really an entry-level mouse, but if you enjoy the shape, if you want something lightweight, and if you have like tiny baby hands, then you can get the Razer Viper Mini for about 40 quid though. I mean, that's really, I would probably buy that for a child. It's tiny, it's really small, and it's not the best. Like, it's the only one of these mice that aren't premium, but I thought I'd recommend it just because it shares that Viper name. And that's it. That's the list. Like I said, the Viper Ultimate, as far as I'm concerned, is the absolute king of FPS mice. I don't think it can be beat. When using this, I just feel like a god. The combination of lightweight and wireless is really something. I strongly recommend that you do try something like that because it's an absolute game changer. If you found this information useful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you decide to go with one of these mice, do let me know which one you got. I'm always interested to see what people are buying. But until the next one, guys, take care of yourselves and peace!